Hi everybody, it's Dr. D and I'm up early, getting ready to start my mommy duties in a little bit, and after that some professional duties. But before I do mommy duty and professional duty, I wanted to address some social consciousness duties. So if I understand it correctly, Florida is one vote away from arming school teachers. And I volunteered at a local school a few times, a number of times, but very specifically a few years ago I volunteered to speak to future business leaders of America at one of our local middle schools here in Wesley Chapel, Florida. And after one of those sessions, I entertained a conversation with the teacher. And somehow we got to talking about Trayvon Martin. And he said, without apology, Trayvon Martin was not killed because he was black. He was killed because he was wearing a hoodie. And he said this in justification of that shooting. Like he shouldn't have been walking home with a hoodie eating Skittles. And so now we want to arm these types of teachers that have this kind of mentality with a gun to protect. I said back to the teacher, Mark Zuckerberg, as far as I recall, wears a hoodie just about every day. Gray hoodie, jeans, white sneakers. No one's felt threatened. He hasn't been shot and killed because he's wearing a hoodie. In fact, show me a young white kid who has been killed for walking home with a hoodie and eating Skittles because he looked threatening. And then show me that his murder was justifiable. So now we want to arm these teachers. We have documented research and history that teachers, and I'm a teacher, I teach at the college level, but I have great admiration, respect, and honor for teachers K through 12. My aunt, living, breathing, amazing teacher in South Florida. My sister-in-law, but I like to just say sister, a teacher here in, or next door in Hillsborough County. But among all of the great teachers, we do have teachers like the one that I just mentioned that are absolutely teaching with bias. And it shows up, it shows up, the research proves that we have not yet mastered how to teach without bias. Yale University just, they came out with a study, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 years ago. They were studying preschool teachers, and they identified that preschool teachers with little toddlers were already prejudging little black boys. Their eye gaze was waiting for them to mess up. I see you. They were waiting, expecting, prepared for these little black boys to mess up. Well-documented research, I think, coming out of South Florida. And if I can find the links, I'll put the links maybe in the comment section for some of these research pieces that I'm referring to. Students of color, which is very generic, but in particular African-American students are more likely, have been suspended for same quote-unquote offenses as others. They have been suspended at a much more increasing rate. And so we don't even teach without bias, and now we're going to arm teachers to protect without bias. I think it was a sheriff out of Polk County, I believe the sheriff out of Polk County, and if I'm incorrect, please, I stand corrected. But I think the sheriff out of Polk County said that this kind of assertion, we should be ashamed of ourselves for asserting that somehow teachers are going to unfairly target black students, or that this is going to have an adverse effect upon black students primarily. We should be ashamed of ourselves for this assertion. No, sir, no, ma'am. We should be ashamed of ourselves for ignoring history. As great as America is, And I can salute so many aspects of our greatness as a country and a nation. But as great as we are, justice for all is something that we continue to work towards. It's not a reality, it's a prayer. When we sing God Bless America, that's not it has completely happened. It's been comprehensively manifesting. That is a prayer that we need for it to manifest more. When we sing the Star Spangled Banner, that's a prayer. My country 'tis of thee, it's a prayer. It's not a complete reality. Will it ever be? I don't know. But we have a responsibility, I think, to make good on that, because I think we have it in us to do better and to be better. Now, that's what I'll say from that angle. But I want to spend the rest of my little minutes here before I go back in the house onto mommy duty. I want to speak to the parents about your mommy duties, particularly parents of black children. And I have practiced maybe 4 or 5 times in my head before I click record, because I wanted to say this as diplomatically as possible. If you are a parent who has not been in a routine of holding your children responsible to be students at school and not hoodlums, and let me just say for the record, I think all students show a little bit of hoodlumness. In fact, kids are kids. The problem is children of color who are being kids, or maybe even some added other stuff, what I guess the kids call ratchet or whatever. Students of color are, again, more likely to be held accountable at a different rate than their counterparts. So you as a parent, you're gonna have to step it up. You're gonna have to step it up. And this becomes very complicated, because what makes this hard is that when I see this in parents, when I see a lack of engagement on behalf of some parents, and when I even see parents reinforcing bad behavior in school, I'm watching a cycle. I'm seeing a cycle. I'm watching a generational cycle where families have been oppressed. Racial oppression, systemic oppression of race, gender, sexual orientation, classism, and so forth. That is real. It manifests, and that's why we have work to do. And what I'm saying is, I see parents who have generationally been oppressed, and so they're living out that oppression. And you're gonna have to get unoppressed. You're gonna have to get unoppressed. And I don't know if that means you need to go to church, rejoin the church, go somewhere, go to a mosque, synagogue, somewhere, go to yoga, but you're gonna have to get unoppressed as a parent. And the thing about oppression and systemic oppression is that when it is done well, and America has perfected aspects of systemic oppression, and when it is done well, at some point the system no longer has to oppress you. You do it to yourself. We call it the self-fulfilling prophecy. I talk about it all the time. You become self-destructive. Once we successfully teach you that you're not worthy of some manner of decorum, honor, dignity, then you self-destruct, and you don't give that to yourself, and you pass it on to your children, and then you send them into the school system. So parents, y'all gonna have to get with it. You're going to have to get with some of these programs, take some classes, get yourself together. And I know it's easier said than done, because I'm talking about cycles. I see the grandmama, the mama, and the child, sometimes the great-grandma, up at the school cussing the teacher out. You better learn to go talk to that teacher and reinforce for your child to do something different than what you did. So that's the best I can give it in this little bit of time, because I got to go start my mommy duties. But parents, particularly parents of children of color and African American children, many of us are in the game, and we're doing everything we know to do. But there are some of you that you've been stuck in some cycles, and you have to get out of them cycles, because this is not going to go well for black children. And I'm not ashamed to say it. What I am saying is we need to do better. And so we need to do better from different angles. I don't think this is a good decision. I don't think we have perfected what the classroom should look like and how to teach all without bias. I even challenge myself in my classroom. I've seen where I've been biased. and I've had to take a second look. I can admit that. So teachers got to do a better job at that. And parents, you got to step it up. You got to step it up. All right, that's all I can say. It's time for me to go start my mommy duties. I love you, and God bless America, because we sure need it. All right, bye-bye. Oh, share this. Please share it. I'm not trying to be a viral sensation with this video, but we need to, we're going to have to get up on it. We're going to have to step it up a notch. So share this with some parents, even if you send it in Messenger or something. But, you know, we got to step it up. So parents, get involved, take some classes, go to these different community folks, agencies in your cities, and you know people are trying to help you. Know, they're not trying to beat you down, they're trying to help lift you up. Your children are going to need you even the more, and you need you. Yep. Okay, I'm out. Love you. Bye.